banger? Hell yeah.
Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Piper Academy show. It is Monday morning. We got a great show lined up for you. Everything you need to know this week. Markets opening right now. GameStop absolutely ripping off. Roaring Kitty is back. Meme coins are getting ready to pop off and move. Is this 2020 all over again? We're going to be looking at that and a whole lot more, plus CPI data this week that you need to know about. Let's get it, guys. Class is in session. Holy cannoli. Welcome to the show, guys. Craziness this weekend, and craziness is starting off on Monday. We got a lot of stuff to break down today. There's manipulation, government manipulation coming to the CPI data. I'm shocked. Shout out to all of the alumni that are in the chat right now. But guys, you guys need to stick around. You don't want to miss anything on today's show. This could be some of the most important information you need to know about this week put out on today's show. So stick around, and let's go ahead and bring the co-host up here because I can't do this show by myself. I got partners. I got partners in crime right here. Trade Fly and OC Guy. What is up, fellas? By the way, Lunar Beach's crypto in the chat right now said, I like the stock. I get it. I know exactly what he's referencing there. So, Tradefly, what's up, man? How was your weekend? How was your Mother's Day?
Hey, I mean, it was pretty good. We actually went on a hike. After the hike, took the wife out to get some lunch. We had some Korean barbecue, and then we hung out by the pool. So all is well. I did have to work after that, so it was a late night. I'm working probably on about 30 minutes or an hour of sleep. But hey, I'm here. I'm ready to rock. Let's do this. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. What's up, OC? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Hopefully, we have a great week, trading week. I mean, I see a couple of crypto just retracing and then pumping back up. So I hopefully have a great trading week. So hopefully also everybody does here. It's ready to go because this Monday seems to be having great and many surprises.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Alexandra G. She's back in the house. She had to work last week, so she was out quite a bit, and she's back in the house. So we're glad to have you back. Our mod extraordinaire, the mod queen, is in the house. So let's go ahead and jump into this data because we're going to have a lot of questions and a lot of people are going to want to see what's going on their stuff. We got ZTS in the house today. He is not fiat mining today. He is modding in the chat. So shout out to ZTS Rhythm in here also. Let's jump over and check out this news, guys. And we need to talk about a lot of stuff with CPI data this week. So let's get in on that. Looking at Fear Green right now, sitting at 57. We are in green still. But really, really close to that line of being in the neutral phase there. Jumping over into the crypto bubbles, let's give it a little refresh and see how that is looking. You can see Pepe up 11.2%, Floki's up 8.9%, Shiba's up 5.7%, Doge is up 3.8%, and I think we're going to actually see Doge get a little bit more action than that, to be fair. Just my opinion, not financial advice. WIF is up, SafeCoin is up, which that's crazy. But overall, guys, a lot of the ones that you're seeing move right now are these meme coins, and that is because the meme craze has begun. We had this information that came out for Gil. If you guys don't know who that is, he's Roaring Kitty, and he's back on X. He posted this weekend, and that has caused the retail meme people. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, there's this movie out not long ago called Dumb Money. So that is the whole story of him. And now we're seeing the meme coins rip off. Matter of fact, one of the meme coins called Roaring Kitty actually did like a 6,000% move or something like that this week. And we're going to be looking at that article and dig into it. Let's jump over to the liquidations and take a look here. In the past 24 hours, $172 million in liquidations coming. Largest single liquidation was on ETH. It was $3.9 million there in the last 24. And you can see here, most of those longs that got liquidated, little pullbacks that happened, and now we're seeing that happening. The move to the upside. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of shorts get liquidated here soon. On Friday, we talked about that pullback at that resistance, and then it just dumped on Friday right after the show. So if you guys got in on that, we let you guys know on Friday morning right here on Piper Academy. So we were hitting the dynamic reactor, and when the dynamic reactor says you shall not pass, that's typically how that plays out, is a dump to the downside. So looking over here, guys, the economic data, and I want to talk about it here. I'm going to jump in here first and just show you what we have going on this week. We have the core inflation rate coming in right there on Wednesday, and that is going to be giving us that data that the Federal Reserve uses to decide if they're going to raise or cut rates. Right now, it is looking like we're going to be coming in below. You can see 3% here for forecast, 0.3%, I should say, on forecast and consensus. It was previously at 0.4, and then 3.8% previously on the core inflation. We have a whole article that's breaking this down because the big one is going to be the CPI data. And the CPI data is what I am going to dig in on the article today. You guys need to know what's going on, this manipulation going on. Shocker, right? Looking here at the earnings this week, we got TeraWulf. That is a Bitcoin miner today after the market close. We've also got Hut 8 over here on Wednesday before market opening, another Bitcoin miner. Let's see what else we have on here. Sea Energy, that's an energy play. Walmart is going to be coming in on Thursday before the market open. And then another big one here that I saw earlier, and I don't remember. Oh, Iris Energy, which is another Bitcoin play. That is going to be, it's IREN, IREN is the ticker, and that is going to be on Wednesday after the close also. Let's jump in here. Let's talk about this article first, because the Roaring Kitties comeback, a trader nets 32x profit on Kitty meme coin. I'm telling you guys, meme season is about to rip off big time. Just my opinion on this. In the crypto market, meme coins often tell tales of rags to riches with their sudden price spikes. Recent revelation of Look On Chain, an on-chain analytics platform, shared such a story. Lucky Trader capitalized on a great market opportunity. They bought 17.4 million Roaring Kitty meme coins for 21.2 Solana, worth about $3,000. This is on the Solana blockchain. When the meme coins value soared over 6,000%, the trader made a profit of 294 Sol. That figure amounts to roughly $41,000. However, the trader still has 4.6 million Kitty left, which is valued at around $56,000 in total. The trader has made a profit of about $94,000, marking almost 32 times more than their initial investment. Let's jump over here back to Trio Cam. Lucky guy. Smart guy, was he reading fundamental news? Did he see Roaring Kitty pop back in and he said, "Hey, F it, let's go for it. Let's do this, YOLO." What happened there, Trade Fly? OC, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that absolutely happens sometimes. It's all about timing and getting into, sometimes it just is a cool logo, a cool community. In this case, it was a certain individual that makes it move. And you know that it only takes one tweet from Elon or someone big in the space to make a market move. So yeah, I've told you before, my analogy for meme coins is like playing whack-a-mole. Those things just bounce all over the place. You never know which one's going to pop, but you just got to be ready to pounce. So yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool to see. I love seeing stories like that. That's what makes this space fun.
It's great. It's great. OC, your thoughts? Was this guy lucky? Did he see something on X and said, I'm going to make this run. Let's get it. Like, what happened here?
I don't know. I mean, I believe that will be just impossible, but impossible to completely say it. And for full certainty, I mean, he was going to be, the owner of his own story. He might be telling whatever he wants to, but the fact of the matter is that he made a good move, right? He just made a good move, and he was well positioned. He followed maybe his instincts, and he's, making some profits. Hopefully, we all can do like that. I mean, I do still believe that this ongoing bull trend will have a ton of more success stories.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the case too. But one of the best things that comes along with these this whole GameStop, Roaring Kitty, and all that is is the memes. The memes are real because when I follow Reddit. I follow Wall Street Bets on Reddit. Have since 2020 when all this kicked off. It was very interesting to watch on there. They started the mumblings and grumblings last Friday. And I was like, what is going on here? But, sometimes they do that and nothing happens. So I didn't do anything then. But I did pick up some GameStop this weekend on pre-market buy because of Robinhood, because of my account. I'm allowed to buy outside the market hours. And GameStop is one of those stocks that you can do that on. So I did pick up some. I'm up like over 10% right now on GameStop just from picking it up this weekend. So it is absolutely ripping off. But I do want to show you guys this funny little thing that someone did here because it's quite genius. Let's get this. If it plays, it may not play. Let's go back and see if it's going to play. Of course it won't. Why would it? Yeah, it don't want to. It don't want to play. Sorry, my bad. We'll go ahead and jump into some other stuff here because this does not want to work for me at all. So let's get back into the. We're going to take a look here at the article on this, and then we're going to take a look at the actual stock real fast, guys. So the breaking GameStop stock GME surges over 40% in pre-market trading. Roaring Kitty returns to X. That's what I was talking about earlier. The stock is now up 140% in 3 weeks, approaching a $10 billion market cap. Over the last 3 weeks, GameStop stock has now added $4.5 billion in market cap in a 3-week period there. And we're going to look at the actual stock there. Before we get into that, some other stuff you guys need to know here on the side of CPI. No, actually, we'll get into that in a minute. Let's go check out this chart, and then we'll get into Bitcoin because we're here for crypto, right? Good Lord. This all happened since I was talking, guys. This is a 4-hour chart on GameStop. And I went ahead and threw some fibs on here. We're now in an entire new fib zone. So we're going to go ahead and take those off and put on entirely new fibs because it's actually trading that quick. This man has the ability to rally. I'm talking rally the retail investors. He's the king of it. So let's get down here and let's put this on the
off, man, and just put on a rocket emoji and just leave that on there, and that'll be your TA for this one.
Right? No kidding, man. All right, guys, we're now at the 50% range. You guys know how I feel about the 50% range. If we're going to reject, that would be a key spot, but we haven't yet. And I'm telling you, this is probably going to keep going for a while. Not financial advice. By no means. This is a super, super risky play. But this is actually moving up past the 50 right now and getting, like you can see here, we had resistance all the way through here on the dynamic reactor. And once we broke it, that was it. Let's go throw it on the daily and see how we're looking on there. Yeah, look at that gap. There's a huge gap there. And it does tend to come back and try to close that out. You can see here it did for this area. Now we have another gap, but we may not come back to close this. This may just be gone for a while. So it's interesting to see. I am going to go ahead and we're going to start a round robin. I'm going to jump into Bitcoin and we'll start doing a round robin on Bitcoin real fast. And then I want to talk about the manipulation that's going on with CPI data. Because guys, this week could be huge for the markets, and it has to do with what is going on with the CPI. I think our numbers may start coming in really, really good, but they won't be as good as what they're putting out. I'm just going to let you know that because the manipulation that's coming is going to greatly change the numbers here. Looking here at Bitcoin, guys, on the 4-hour, we are back where we were on Friday. You guys remember on Friday, we talked about, look, we got the point of control here. That's the red dashed line. We got the dynamic reactor here. We're rejecting off of it. We were right here when I said, look for a pullback back to the value area low. And that happened on Friday after the show. It was actually the short that ZTS put out for Friday, talking about that play right there. Well, we got a nice retest here on the value area low again, and we are right now getting that rejection right back on that point of control in the dynamic reactor. Again, there is a potential for a pullback here unless we can get some consolidation pushing on this line. You see here how it kind of just kept pushing up until the candle closed there, not just a wick back, and then dropped. If we get that pump up and we candle close on that point of control, but it still doesn't get above it, that next candle is likely going to be a pullback candle. So But the data that's coming out this week, everything is looking very solid. So don't be surprised if we don't get a rally this week. Blackie Chan said AMC stock is definitely next. Wall Street Bets is already talking about it. So there you go, guys. 2020. Let's jump over here before we look at your heat map. Do you guys remember in 2020 when all of a sudden, like, there was all this news about GameStop? It was on every financial news channel there was. People were talking about GameStop. Then Doge popped off. People were becoming Doge millionaires on this stupid meme coin that has no purpose and no use and no utility and no value. And then all of a sudden, the crypto market took off and did its rally after the halving. Do you guys remember all that back in 2020? Is this a 4-year cycle?
Yeah,
Is this a 4-year cycle for GameStop and meme coins now, also in coordination with the retail push into post having Bitcoin? It could be quite interesting to see. So,
you're gonna have to bring Randy back on the show.
okay,
Yeah.
Randy, it's not a 4-year cycle based on Bitcoin halving. It's a 4-year cycle based on Roaring Kitty and GameStop stock.
Yeah,
Trade
there it is.
let's go ahead and see what you got on the heat map, man.
Right on. All right, looking at the liquidation heat map on the 3-day, you can see that there was a hot spot here. We've already cleared that liquidity out. So now you're seeing a lot of blue kind of build up. You do see a little area here of liquidity, but it's also coinciding with an area of resistance, right? So that actually, funny enough, kind of lines up with the dynamic reactor. But I see kind of freedom of movement right now. I wouldn't say that liquidity is really going to drive the price either way. At least if you're looking at the 3-day, we'll take a little bit closer look on the 1-day. And yeah, kind of same thing. I mean, there's a little bit of liquidity, but it's not super hot. The hotter spot is actually down here at about 60,500. But I don't really think there's going to be a big push for that. It's not really close enough. So I would say liquidity today not going to be much of a driving factor. Just kind of taking a quick look at the charts. I did talk about this falling wedge last week, and I talked about this support range here. And it was me and OC, and I said, hey, this is this, I don't know if I said silver lining or what my verbiage was, but I was like, hey, like there's hope that you could find support here and you could get a bounce in this area because it's a previous range of support. And then you have the top side. We're getting a true retest of that falling wedge. We did get a bounce there. And I will be honest with you. I'll let you know that I did go long on Bitcoin this weekend as well. I put about $1,000 in Bitcoin. I did buy some Solana. But now we got to see what we're going to do here. Now, this point of control is new. And the reason it's new is we finally kind of have pushed right far enough on the price action here that it's now moved the point of control and the value area low. So remember the point of control was right here previously, but as we're pushing right, price is kind of trending down and right. It's now pulled the point of control down. So we have that in conjunction with the dynamic reactor. So keep that in mind. That's going to be pretty important. That's the area. I'll give you the key area right now. It's at about 63,000. We'll call it even. That is a really key area of resistance. If we get over top of that, could be game on. We could be making some moves for Bitcoin real soon. But as Piper mentioned too, also an area of resistance. We could see a rejection there. So I do like the strength it's showing coming into it. That's a pretty nice move. You might see a couple hits on that area of resistance. Let's look at the hourly real quick, just because the point of control will mark. At least we know where the dynamic reactor was on the 4 hours, right about here, right? So just looking at it, yeah, kind of that hit a couple times as well. So we'll see. I mean, if you look at the hourly though, it is looking bullish. Prime score is 8. Prophecies calling market pumps. I think it was even calling a market pump on the 4 hour. We'll go back. It is. So check that out. I would say, there's optimism here. All right. But 63K is the number to watch today.
Nice. I like it, man. I like it. OC, what do you got on your chart? And then we're going to get into what's going on with the economic data this week.
Absolutely. We still are on track with the YKF pattern here. So yesterday we left out, on Friday we left out on this area right here, either break or make. And I was expecting it for it to have a breakout pattern and then maybe a little retracement. It just absolutely went dumping to the bottom of the channel, but we did not lose the 60K 70K area. So that's very, very important. We made actually a flip of the ribbon here and also had a bullish divergence. So we are back at where we were the last Friday, but I believe that right now the odds are a little bit better. Look at how we're oscillating back and forth between a prime score from 2 to 6, and that is because we're going through dynamic reactor. We already have made it through the zero line, which is a big deal, and that's why, since we're breaking or at the point of breaking the dynamic reactor, that will be basically a non-stop area. All right, so the next resistance will be at 65, and but most likely now, if we follow what we are looking for, it's going to be the top of the range at 70K. So hopefully we do have that breakout and that run based on the Wyckoff structure that we have ongoing on right now.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Hey, shout out to Blackie Chan. He said you're getting ready to drop his video right after this live stream. Blackie Chan, in our Discord, drop a link to your channel and that video, where that video will be at, I should say, for ZTS. Tag him in it, ZTS Rhythm, and he will post that here in the chat for you. So we got you, man. Also, guys, Zach is dropping the alts in the Discord already for us. Jasmine is up in the shoot, so if one of you guys want to take that, we'll get into those. Let's jump over here into the news. This is the inflation moving in baby steps. So there's a lot of breakdown in here. You guys need to pay attention. This is why I think we're going to see movements to the upside this week across the markets. The Dixie is taking a dive right now, and there's a lot of stuff going on with the economic data, the inflation data this week that you guys, you must know this stuff. If you don't, you're going to miss out on the risk on movement that's about to happen, in my opinion. Inflation moving a baby step in the right direction. Here's what Wall Street economists expect from this week's reports. The smallest increase. So just so you guys know, it's still going up, but it is the smallest increase since December. It's expected. Retail sales have seen moderating. They're not dropping anymore. After a quiet week for U.S. economic indicators, this week will ramp up with Wednesday's release of the key April Consumer Price Index. That is CPI. For economists, attention is centered on the Federal Reserve and whether there are potential paths to interest rate cuts before next winter. The trend toward lower inflation was interrupted in the first quarter. That has raised fears of higher inflation, less easing by the Fed. But in light of the ugly data, Fed Jerome Powell has laid out two potential price paths to cuts. One is a renewed confidence in low inflation, which I think we're going to see this week. The other is unexpected weakening in the labor markets. Economists will be watching the data with two possible paths in mind. And then on Tuesday, we got Fed Reserve Chair Powell. He's going to be speaking. He's going to get a chance to update his views on the U.S. economy and interest rates. This is coming out the day prior to the CPI. He's expected to repeat that it will take longer to gain sufficient confidence that inflation rate is coming down. On Wednesday, we're going to get that April CPI. This is at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this will be out before we go live on Wednesday. Wall Street economists expect headline CPI to rise by 0.4% in April for the third straight month. However, core inflation is expected to tick a bit lower at 0.3%, the lowest rate since December, and is forecasted to drop to a 3.6% annual rate in April, which would be a 3-year low. This is bullish data for risk on markets, guys. And we're going to be seeing that. But one other thing that I want to show you here, and I kind of ticked around this morning and figured all this out to get it all together for you guys. But shout out to my boy Tradefly, because he knew exactly what I was talking about when I brought this up. Let me bring this into play. There we go. I said there's getting ready to be some manipulation in the markets. Let me come over here. So there's getting ready to be some manipulation in the markets on CPI data that the government's going to be doing something different in the calculation. And he said, yeah, and you're drinking it right now. Bingo. Legendary Aviation Coffee, guys. How to get a drink there. Use that link right there, 10% off. This coffee is going to make your markets move. Let's jump over here and take a look at why. This is unusual. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, has announced that coffee prices will no longer be factored into CPI inflation data. In fact, the April 2024 CPI inflation report this week will be the first to not include coffee price inflation. Whoever's got their audio on, you just came through on the thing. Well, the obvious next step is to see what happened to coffee prices over the last few months. Since September 2023, coffee prices are up 78% from January 1st of this year through the high in April when this change was announced. Coffee prices gained 35%, all as Starbucks went womp womp down to the downside. So let's jump over here to the charts. And I'm going to show you guys this coffee chart, and we're going to talk about why hey, Bitcoin's pushing again, guys. We're going to talk about why we're likely to see that number come in even better, and it's going to be because of this coffee. Where is it? Coffee futures. Is that it? CFD. We'll go versus US dollar. We'll see what this one looks like. Here we go. You can see here, guys, coffee is pulled back. It's down. So it has this rally down, and we're about to hit this resistance line here on the daily. I think that this was a higher low, and they are now expecting this to rally up even harder. And they do not want this data in there in that calculation, because that data in the calculation would show a much higher CPI number. And this is a way of making that number appear to be less just by, hey, you know what? This is going to be a weighted value that's going to throw off inflation. Let's just get rid of that variable and let's make this look better than what it is. We don't want the curve to be misguided. It's almost like high school testing in California. You know, we don't want to have this one person ruin everyone else's opportunity. So we're just going to cut that grade out of the equation here. TradeFly OC, what do you guys think? Is this first two-part question? Is this going to rally the markets because of this CPI data being lower? From coffee not having its influence in there? And two, is this very shady stuff for the federal government to do? Let's just cut this entire thing out and let's not even count it. TradeFly, we'll go with you first.
Yeah, I mean, it's continued manipulation. So they've already cut out energy. They've already cut out food. It's just a continuation for them to skew the numbers in their favor when we all know what reality is. Inflation is still very high. You can see it if you keep any kind of books, or if you track your money that you're spending every month, you know that inflation is still higher than what it was. So they're just going to keep doing it till they get the numbers they want. And then, dude, it's a game, and I'm actually getting frustrated with it now at this point, because they keep doing this, and like, stop being deceitful, because that kind of bothers me. But yeah, I don't know what the end state's going to be. I guess the numbers will be what they want them, and then they can be like, look what we did under this president, and then we'll go into an election, and then we'll find out that it's all wrong.
Bingo. It's exactly what I thought was going on too. OC, your thoughts on this? Coffee. Major, I mean, like, how many people in America drink coffee on a daily basis? Like, this is a major buying piece in everyone's expenses every day. Unless you drink like mud water, or you're a tea person, or you wake up happy and chipper. Wake up happy and chipper without coffee, in which case I hate you. Yeah. Well, like, what do you think on this? Is this going to make the numbers lower? Does it have that big of an impact? And two, is this very shady of the federal government? And plus, I'd like to know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know there also. OC, what's your thoughts on that?
All right, so first of all, we need to get started with coffee drinkers. I mean, there's a clean line between coffee drinkers and legendary aviation coffee drinkers. So hit that like button and get that 10% off for a smart legendary aviation coffee's mug. So, by the way, guys, I mean, we can see that it is not a small market. I mean, it was expected to grow, to what? 468.2 billion just in 2024. So, absolutely, if the government's doing it, I do believe that is shady. There's no question about this, right? So, cutting out coffee out of the calculations will definitely make an impact in here. And we're not talking about, small chips, and come on, it is coffee. Who doesn't drink coffee? And if you are one of those that doesn't drink coffee, again, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But if you do, I mean, just raise your hand. Yes. So absolutely. I mean, long story short, I'm completely agree with Trayfly and you, Piper, that I mean, this is shady AF because I mean, it's gonna be impacting very, very hard the percentage and how many billions they're rushing in, rushing out of the economy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And I'm gonna kick back over here because I can't stop looking at this chart, guys. I am up 110% now on my GameStop stock. It is just mooning past the golden pocket now too. So I just had to
Somebody
share
said they
that.
stopped trading. Is that accurate?
Did they stop trading?
I don't know. Someone said that in the chat.
It would not shock me
I
at
wouldn't be
all
surprised.
because that's how the stock market works. But according to GameStop here, according to Robinhood, I mean, it says some exchanges, not Robinhood, have temporarily halted trading on GameStop. Robinhood is not
Okay.
stopped. They learned their lesson from 2020. They're like, what do we do? Do we cut off the
Yeah.
trading on this? And they said, hell no, we are not touching that. So
Yeah. Hey,
let's
that's
jump.
good though, man. That's really, I mean, honestly, that's good news for those that have stayed with Robinhood through all of this and people that have been timid to get back in with them. That's, I mean, that's positive. You can take that away from it, I guess.
Hey, you know, Robinhood almost got wrecked, completely wrecked and obliterated when they stopped trading on GameStop back in the day. So
Yeah.
they would be stupid to do that. So as of right now, and they even specified on their warning here, some stock exchanges, not Robinhood, have stopped
Yeah.
trading. So
Let me
let's
be
go ahead and
clear.
jump. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into what you guys are seeing on the charts. I'm going to keep an eye on Robinhood. I mean, on GameStop here because it's just too funny to not watch it. Doubling my money this morning is fantastic. So, Tradefly, I think you have Jasmine up, correct?
I do.
Let's get
Yep.
in there. Let's get it. Guys, in the alts, any alt you guys want to see TA on, go ahead and drop it into the chat. ZTS Rhythm is standing by.
Right on. So looking at Jasmine, I'm up on the daily right now. So the reason I'm on the daily is I just want you to see kind of what this looks like on the daily. This is a pretty epic move up. And you can see now we're kind of consolidating. We formed a range. I got a fixed range volume profile for you there. Still on the top side of the dynamic reactor. So all is okay, right? But it is starting to eke down a little bit, kind of Bitcoinish, where you see this, channel starting to move down and right a little bit, but we still haven't broken this value area low. You can only see wicks under it right now, so all is not lost. I do believe we just talked about Jasmine. I want to say like the end of last week. I want to say Friday. Don't hold me to it. And I think I remember saying that I think it was likely to revisit this value area low. Let's go ahead and look at the 4 hour to see why it is. I was thinking that. Yeah, okay. So I mean the trend, short term is kind of down and right. It's the pressure is down. So that's kind of what I was leaning towards, this value area low or somewhere in the range of it before we see some kind of movement. But basically what you're now seeing is you're seeing some resistance there on the top side, and that you're going to have to work through. Plus, you're on the bottom side of the dynamic reactor. It wicked off of the dynamic reactor pretty hard, actually, which is pretty. I mean, I'm not going to say strange, but I mean, it shouldn't theoretically act that as resistance that hard, but it did. So, just another reason, chart prime man, dynamic reactor. It is probably one of my favorite things about it. So yeah, I don't think it's really changed much for me. I mean, you're going to keep an eye on this area at about 1.8 cents. But I think the value area low is still very much in play at about 1.6 cents. It's just trending in that direction. So you're gonna have to wait for a breakout here. And really, I wouldn't just really wait for the breakout of this this pattern, which is a falling wedge. I would probably really concentrate more on the point of control here. I think that's the line in the sand to see if we're going to get that bullish movement up and right, or that continuation up and right. And then if you're just looking for a short, like intraday trade, that again would still be the area I'm concentrating on. You want to see it break out and then retest that area before it moves up to the value area high. Again, if this is just scalping or intraday, here's your in, here's your out. Remember, tight stop loss, and then don't try to be a hero. That's what I would look for. Like we're really gonna have to break out of this range right here, truly. And when I say that, you're gonna have to get up all the way up to about 2.5 cents before you're gonna see any kind of continuation up and right. So it's had a pretty gnarly move up and right. I mean, just as a whole. So that would be really hard for me to be like super bullish on Jasmine right now. It's going to be tough, right? And then you have this very distinct area of resistance. You can see that I have marked out. You got this range. And what I like doing is going back on the chart, right? Especially on the daily, and just looking like, okay, where do we have support? You're seeing it. Where do we have resistance? And then you got a true retest of this range before it actually broke down. So if you were to move up, like if this is a long-term play for you, so it's hard for me to watch the chat and do TA, so you guys can back me up here. But I wouldn't see us breaking this range anytime soon. But that's full systems go if it does. But that is your absolute like high side target probably in the next like couple months, I'll say. I mean, I guess you see stranger stuff with GameStop, but this would be my high side target. Like, and if I was in a long position, for a significant amount of time, this is really, really, I would suggest probably taking profits at that point, personally. So, and nothing too crazy. It's in a range, and I gave you some maybe intraday scalping things to look at as well. But that's really the high side target, and then support right here, dynamic reactor, value area low. It's all lining up. So if it breaks out of that to the downside, then I'd be very, very careful. And you could easily come back down here and revisit these areas at about less than a cent, because there's not a lot of volume in here. So that's what I'm seeing on Jasmine.
Awesome. OC, you got anything pulled up?
Yep, I have Solana and also Velo and BNB. What do you guys want to see?
We'll go ahead. We got a request from Nos in here, just so you're tracking also, but we'll go ahead and jump over to your chart. But just for everybody out there, I just sold half of my holdings in GameStop. I am now 100% in profit. I have pulled out my original investment, and now I'm trading on free money. So
that's money.
That's right. That's right.
Perfect.
So there you go. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm playing that game. All right. What you got for us, OC?
Hey, why don't you let your homies know next time you do some DGen stuff, man? I'm down to play. I'll take $100 flyer with you.
Did you not see the picture of me at the casino this weekend? I was obviously in a DGen mood.
Yeah, man. Let me know next time. I'll roll with you.
Nice.
Nice. Perfect. So let's do it now since it's been requested, and then maybe I just take on Solana afterwards. We'll see. So daily is looking very, very good. In fact, we were looking at daily for a couple of days before, and then finally has broken below this trend line here. Let's go to the 4 hours just to see how far could it be going, because it already have gone through the phase of breakout, retest, and off we go. So far, let me just pull up here my indicators, and the first thing I'm going to be looking for is where do I have my most important support and resistances. As we can see right here, we have the first rejection already played out, back to the next area of support in here, and we are making this the next possible movement here. I believe that this time, the second time, could be the charm, maybe a possible breakout. So just be careful here. But again, I would not be long in resistance. Remember, I have learned my lesson from a long time ago. Do not long resistance, do not short supports. All right. So, I mean, sometimes in trading wars, I need to do that, but that is a special occasion. All right. Other than that, looking for a possible rejection at this area, but we are above the zero line. So what's going to be my playing here? Waiting for the breakout, going for the retest, being above the zero line here, entering for a possible long nut that not financial advice, and then right here at the retest of the smart money area, jumping back at the next retest of the smart money area for another pullback in here. What's going to be the bearish scenario will be a rollout of that oscillator, and then also go and visit this area right down here, which again I will be looking for the next up outgoing movement. Our prophecy, it is pumping, and we have a pretty strong prime score. Because of those two, my primary plan A will be breakout retest. My secondary and plan B will be a rejection and back at retest for another possible long. That's what I got on us, guys.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to jump over here to my chart OC, and I've got the Dixie pulled up here. Well, I had it up. Let's pull it back up. There we go. Dixie getting a little bit of a bounce right now, guys, on this line right here. But as soon as the indicators pop in, you'll see what's going on here. We do have a rejection up here perfectly. That happened on last Friday morning. Coming down, we lost off of that dynamic reactor, and now it looks like we're coming down to a key area. Support over here was a little bit of resistance and a little bit of support there. This bounce coming in off of the bottom of the Oscillator Pro and off that RSI. You can see we're starting to get that little candle there, which indicates possible reversal back up. We're going to have to watch and see what happens with the Dixie here. But overall, guys, looking at this long term for the week, well, I guess midterm for the week, I do believe we're going to see the Dixie get hurt bad this week with some of the data that's going to be coming out. If it comes in the way that it's looking right now, I do think we're going to see the Dixie pull to the downside. Let's look at this on the daily and just get an idea of what it's looking like here. We did have these two trend lines back here that I was talking about on this this broadening wedge, which is going to be, a megaphone pattern, and we did lose that. So we do have I think we're going to come down to about 104.35. That would be the dynamic reactor range, and when we get there, then I'll base if we're going to go lower based on what's going on at the markets. But we still have downside here on the Oscillator Pro and on the RSI when we look at the daily compared to the 4-hour. I do see the Dixie weakening right now. So that's what I got there. Let's jump over and let's take a look at what TradeFly's got up, and then we'll just keep it moving.
Right on. Just looking at AVAX right now. I'm on the daily. Kind of almost head and shoulderish, but I don't really know. I'm not a huge fan of head and shoulders, but it's trying to hold this value area low right now. It's finding support there. We've got multiple tests of that area, and I have just realized that I don't have my oscillator up. That's a big miss. Let's see here. There it is. Pull that up. One of the things I like to look for is the oscillator. When we get multiple touches of an area of support, I want to see if it's trending up and right, and it is. So prophecy is saying market pumps, even though the prime score is a 1. So there's that magic algorithm they got going on. I'm not sure what it is they're doing, but I think they're on to something there. So, I would see, or I wouldn't see, but I would guess that this area of support is probably going to hold up. Worst case scenario, it does keep coming down to the golden pocket. That's not a bad thing. But it could be a potential area for you to make a play on AVAX right now, because it is getting confirmation that we're finding this area of support. It's just really struggling to get past the dynamic reactor and the 0.5 on the fib retracement there. So it looks like a pretty important area of resistance. Just coming back left on the chart to be like, hey, why is this so important? Well, you can see support, resistance, support. So it's all in this area right here. This seems to be a key area at about 37, high 36s. We can even go, about 36 to about 37 dollars seems to be a very key area of resistance. So I'll keep an eye on that. You might be able to scalp something, basically from here up to there. But really, this is the area we're looking for. You want it to break this area. Really, I would say, more importantly, you can see the rejections here off of about 40 before I would get a little bit more cozy with getting into a long position. So scalping intraday, you're probably at a point where you could play something up to about 36. Again, be very conservative here. Stop losses underneath of about 31. So I would probably look somewhere at about 30. It could fall back into the golden pocket. So it depends on your tolerance. It depends on what you're doing. If you're going high leverage, then very tight stop loss. If you're just 1x, then whatever, you can put a stop loss under here, underneath the golden pocket, or you could just wait for it to come to the golden pocket, which is probably the preferable thing to do. But I think this area is going to hold up for some reason. I got that feeling looking at the oscillator. If Bitcoin continues its move up and right, I think ultimately AVAX will follow. So there's a couple key areas for you to look for AVAX.
Hey, shout out to Alex O Crypto in the chat right now. Gang, 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 gang. He's in here hanging out with us. It's always great to see you, man. Let's jump over to OC. I think you got a
I
little
got
another DGen stock over there, don't you, OC?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
DJT, so
absolutely.
that is Trump Media. So that is DJT Trump Media and Technologies Group Corp. So it seems like we are looking at crypto for some reason. I don't know. This seems to be the topic of today's DGen movements here. So we have a huge dump and then huge pump. We just need to be a little bit careful here. I do believe that we're gonna go a little bit higher, not too much, not too high. From this point, we can just follow along on what has happened before, that we have that wick to the resistance area, and we are right there on the resistance area. So what is making me think that we're going to go slightly higher since we are in a resistance? Well, the goose head that we have going on here and the bearish divergence. We could be maybe doing a double or triple bearish divergence if this goose head plays out. So if we take a look at previously, we have this goose head, and let me just stretch it a little bit so we can see it here. And as you can see, it made that second top in this area. So the same thing I'm expecting right now, maybe just to do a little bit of a retracement and then pull up into this resistance gap, and then finally make a retracement to the support. And if everything plays well, well, then breakthrough, retest, and off we go to the next area of resistance. So far, looking good. Just, I mean, be careful because this is moving very, very, very aggressively, and maybe this area might not be enough of a support, although the volume is there to back it up. I mean, we can see that sometimes it just goes through. I mean, it just goes through with those huge gaps. So be careful on Donald Trump Media Group. So that's what I got on DJT.
Excellent. And I think one of you two has done NOS before, NOS. If you, whoever it is, if you
I
can
did.
pull that up. Okay, OC, can you get that one ready? I'm going to do a little bit more on DJT here that I've got on my chart. Guys, we got a fixed range volume profile here that I've been following for a while, and you can see how well it played right here as resistance. We finally got all of this play right here, and I'm looking at this on 4-hour chart. We finally got all this play right here where it got support on that. We are now at the value area high, which is coming in right below that golden pocket. So as he was saying, be careful because you are at prime rejection point, but we do have this beautiful retest right here of that 50%, which was the previous rejection point. And when you get a bounce on the 50% above it, that is typically bullish sentiment to me. So you do have that going for it. And it does look like we are getting a reversal here. This could be a goose head and come down. We've seen these before, right? Where you get that little goose head there and then bam, it comes down even more. In this case, it just went sideways. Even if we get a goose head here, we could consolidate above that 50. As long as we stay above that 50% at $50.94, we are likely looking at more upside, especially with what's going on right now in the media. With Trump, he's a lot of bullish sentiment moving behind him. He's made some really positive comments on crypto. He's garnering a lot of attention right now, and it is very possible that we could see this take off from here. It's a good area. Lock your fibs. Jesus, lock your fibs, Rick. This is good sentiment right now to see the support ranges that we're getting the support at right now. And that would be looking at the that 50% there and the fact that we got above that point of control. But again, value area high is where we are right now. Very strong resistance there and historical traditional rejection point of that golden pocket sitting right there at $57.65. Let's go ahead, knock out NOS, and then get ready for whatever you want to show there next, Trade Fly. And shout out to Crypto Archie. He wants to see SUI and CASPA. So Trade Fly, if you want to take SUI, I'll take CAS, and we'll take a look at what's going on with that in the roundabout here.
Perfect. Let's do a quick review on us since we already have done it today. So we have a bounce between those two areas. For me, it's a little bit more bullish because we're making the push through this area of resistance. This is the second time that we are going to be making that retest through that area, right? So since we have a prime score of 8 and also we have a market prophecy of pump, I believe the plan A will be breaking through, going for the retest, and on the retest, I possibility for a pump as long as we keep moving forward to the upside on the oscillator. The bearish scenario and plan B, the less probable one, but remember, a smart trader, it's a prepared trader, all right, will be a rejection of this area as we've seen before, all right? And that rejection will come with a flip of the ribbon going to the zero line in here, and most likely all the way back down here at 4.08. So that's what I got on us. So throwing it back to you guys.
Awesome. TradeFly, you got that SUI up, that SUI up?
Yeah, I'm still working in the background. So if you want to jump on Cash real quick, I'll follow up.
Awesome. Let's do cast then. All right, guys.
All right.
So CASPA, we were talking about this rejection area up here multiple times here. I've got a T box on there. This is red T box that's laid over top here. And that is also the phase 6 golden pocket going all the way back. This is the same levels that I've had on this chart for almost a year now. So looking at what we're looking for here, for a bounce point based on the rejection still playing true. Perfect retest right there, that phase 6 golden pocket. I'm watching this phase 5 golden pocket coming in 11.2 cents. It's that famous area there of 11.2 cents that I've talked about numerous times when it comes to CASPA. I think it is a key level of support, but I do have a green T box. This is going to be like my all-in buy area if we come down to this level. And it's going to be the phase 4 golden pocket at about 9.6 cents. And it's going to be this trend line inside of that is running along the bottom. What is that trend line from? We'll throw it on the daily and we'll go back and take a look. We're going way back here. Guys, if we go back and we look at what this trend line was, this is where I bought CASPA at 4.5 cents. It was right here on a bounce of this trend line that had been going on. Let me turn off the fibs just so you can see it better. Come here, fibs. Where you at? You are right there, trend based. This was a key level of support that CASPA bounced on numerous times throughout its history. And right there is where I bought on that test of that positive support bounce off of that support trend line. And then now we are coming back in play on it. You guys can see it's not that far down from where we are right now. If you take a look, even with the bounce on the daily, if we go down to that trend line, it's about a 25% move. If we got down to that green T box down there, I would go all in, not financial advice. This is just me. I'd go all in with the rest of my dry powder on CASPA at that point because I do believe it is a very strong project. I do think that it's one of my best plays that I have running for risk to reward. And right now, yes, we're getting a rejection there off of that dynamic reactor. We do have some indication of downside movement coming in on the Oscillator Pro here. This could be doing a duck head and could go higher, but it's also looks like it's starting to round off. We see RSI primed, giving us a red candle there on the daily also. I'm watching again 11.2 cents there at the phase 5 golden pocket. Going to be a key level of support to watch. But if we make it down to the green T box here, look for this trend line to be retested again, following that beautiful history of it there of support. And then I'm going to be seeing that as my entry point coming in somewhere around the 9.5 cents to 9 cent mark on CASPA. So that's what I got there. Let's jump over to SUI, some SUI. See what you got there on SUI, man.
Right on. Yeah, I got it up on the daily right now. So this is a little tough, and the reason it's tough is there's a couple things that I don't like, but there's a couple things that I do like. All right, so the couple things that I don't like, the trend right now is down and right, and you see it's underneath of the dynamic reactor. Dynamic reactor is this inch underneath all of the moving averages, including the 200-day SMA. That's a very important one. I hate being underneath of that. When I come down to the golden pocket, one of the things I would like to see is that the 200-day SMA is still underneath of it, providing support. Right now, we're underneath of that. So I will leave this a little bit in your hands when I say, like, you know the fundamentals, you know what's going on in the project more than I do. The only thing I can do right now is look at the charts. Okay, so With that being said, looking at the area we're in right now, we're at the golden pocket, right? So you look, there is previous support. We got a wick off of here. We're seeing buying pressure in this area. That's why there's an extended wick. All right, we're coming back down to retest, but look at the way it's coming down for the retest. All right, it's not a quick bounce up, get a rejection, come down, and then find support. It's a very slow, methodical move down and right. I don't like that going into a second retest. I'm going to be very transparent with that. All right, the things that I do like, we are in the golden pocket, so that's good news. All right, you're in the golden pocket, and then you have this the prime oscillator is going up and right. It's showing you divergence. That's usually a good sign. The peak seeker, you're getting that flash there. You had an oversold before we actually started to make a little bit of a rally there before we ultimately got rejected. It's hard to say, but if you're a gambling man at this point, you're in the golden pocket, I would say taking a flyer off the golden pocket when you have divergence probably could pay off. I would say I like to kind of let things come to me, and I would probably look more around the platinum pocket. I think that's very much in play right now, but it could find support here. It could, and I just don't like the way that it's coming down into it. That's what I'll say about that. Everything in terms of resistance is on top of it. The only thing you got to the bottom side of it is the golden pocket. So that's kind of what I'm hanging my hat on right now. If you're looking here, you will see that there's going to be an area of support right here, right? It was previously resistance. You had a big breakthrough. So that means that's a key area for me. So it just depends on when you got in. I know I say that a lot, but it really does, because it depends. Like if you're scalping intraday, like that changes things significantly. Let's go ahead and just put a horizontal line here, and we'll make it green. I do think, oh yeah, look at the wick right off of that too. And that was me. I wasn't looking at here. I was just looking here and seeing where there was resistance before that big breakout. So yeah, this area here at 89 cents, I think is going to be significant. It's just personal feeling, because that's where you really had some extended volume. And we saw something similar to that with Bitcoin recently. Bitcoin made a move back. It came down to about 56K. Piper was calling that. And it looked a lot like this. You had a little pit stop here where there was volume, and that's where we found support with Bitcoin. I think that's very much in play here for SUI as well, or SUI, whatever you guys call this damn thing. But that's what I'm looking at here. These are kind of your two critical areas, about 90 cents, and then at about 75 cents, I can very much see it pulling back. I don't know that this area is going to hold. I say my confidence is low, but if you're degening or you're into a risky play, you could go long here.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Let's jump over here real fast before we wrap this out. Give you guys one last final update here on GameStop. I sold this about 15 minutes ago. I told you guys I took my initial entry out. We had a big rejection right after I did. Came down, and now it looks like it's trying to retest that local golden pocket there, guys. On the higher time frame fibs, going from its all-time high to now, we also got rejected onto 236, the first level of fib resistance there. So that's what I'm seeing there on that. Just be careful. If you guys are getting in on this, just be aware. It is a meme stock. It is a losing company right now, and it does not have a lot going for it, except for, millions of degens that want a repeat of 2020. That's all it has. So I'm in it right now in total profit. I have $0 of my own in there. I'm going to let it run and play and see what it does. But as of right now, I've taken out my initial entry, and we are getting rejection of some key areas. So yeah, I sold the local top on GameStop. Good job. TradeFly OC, what do you guys got for the people on the way out, man?
Hey, as always, great mixing up with you guys. It's always great to be here. It's honestly, I'm not lying to you when I say it's one of my favorite parts of the day. That's why I do it on 15 minutes of sleep. Trading Wars is going today. I might be on it. I might not. Depends if I pass out. But I will be on the 1v1 Thursday. And the other thing, we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I did open up that portfolio. We'll take a look at that tomorrow, and we'll see where we're allocated.
Yeah, we'll look at it tomorrow. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's no worries at all. We'll take a look see tomorrow. But other than that, yeah, little personal thing. I've been getting into some NFTs. I made like 20% on one of them already. I don't know if I'm probably not. I'll just probably hold it. But it's been fun. Just meeting some new communities. Hopefully we can bring them over to Piper Academy, vice versa, and kind of, we'll say network a little bit.
Awesome. And by the way, OC, before you give your outro, we're heading over on a redirect. So stay tuned. Right as soon as the show ends, we're going to redirect over to Randy Hipper, and we're going to go raid the Morning Zest show. So stick around and raid with us. Drop those hats. OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man?
Absolutely. Last time that we raided that server, that was a lot of fun. Also, great analysis that you guys going on there. So, guys, thank you so much for joining today. It's time to go raid another server. But before we go raid another server, click that like button, because when you click that like button, well, we have two options. Either, well, we can go on Polaroid to be the next GameStop, or maybe we can see vinyl disc to go back and pump on those. Stay tuned, click the like button and see which one pumps. And see you on the next one.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Guys, thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. If you guys are getting in on GameStop, be safe, be careful, use protection, use a stop loss. Guys, we're going to be heading over to Randy Hipper now. It's time for the Morning Zest raid. Let's get it. We're out of here. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Trade safe. Use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!